Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We're talking about Star Wars Armada today and the future of Star Wars Armada. I have recently done a video like this for X-Wing, but this is Armada's version. So if you guys are interested in X-Wing, Armada, and other Star Wars and tabletop games, this is the right place to be. Love to have you stick around, click that subscribe button, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into the meat of the video. As a lot of people are aware, we had recently, a few weeks ago, an announcement from Atomic Mass Games and Asmodee that both Armada and X-Wing were no longer being developed. Now, this is basically closing the door on those two games, but it's not slamming it shut immediately, although it certainly feels like that to some, although I think the Armada community here is a little bit more equipped to prepare for this because, well, frankly, we've seen the writing on the wall for a couple of years now, so this comes as no surprise, but it is still pretty sad. But it does leave a lot of people wondering what's coming next. There is something of a vacuum out there in the air, and a lot of different communities and groups have kind of said, "Oh, we'll take it from here," you know, and it's showing great initiative, but maybe a little bit too soon. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this game. What's going to happen in the future? So what is going to happen in the future? Well, in short, not a whole lot for the immediate future. The important distinction with AMG's announcement is that Armada is still supported with organized play all the way through the rest of this year and up into Worlds of 2025. Same thing for X-Wing. Again, I already did a video about this for X-Wing. This one is going to have similarities to that video because the roadmap for both games is very similar. But yes, that is the important distinction. Worlds is still going to happen. Worlds is still going to be an Atomic Mass Games World Tournament at Adepticon. And, of course, the GTOs, the grand tournaments that are happening all throughout this year, and then those store championship kits, those store tournament kits, rather, that are out there, all of that is still Atomic Mass Games organized play. And for a lot of people are wondering if there's going to be a community initiative to, you know, to incorporate homebrew and to change all of the rules and to change all of the points and to do all of these things. And can I get my 3D printed ships on there since I can't get a Star Destroyer right now? What's going to happen with all of these questions? I want to try and address as many of those as I can in this video. However, I'm also going to caveat all of that with there's no rush to have completely final answers right away, but there is definitely a plan in motion. So, in short, yes, this season up through Worlds 2025, nothing's going to change for Star Wars Armada. We're the same rules, the same points, the same ships, the same legalities. All of that is still going to be. So the game you're playing now is the game you're going to be playing next month, month after that, and so on and so forth. So nothing has to change. Continue to enjoy Star Wars Armada, continue to play Star Wars Armada. As a matter of fact, even though they're not doing reprints, there's still a lot of stock out there. It's not on Asmodee.com's website anymore, but it is still out there. As all different sites have it. Of course, also, I want to caveat that with, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, be careful when you're buying stuff. Don't use payment methods that are non-refundable. Don't use gift payments on PayPal. Do research on where you're buying from. Try to buy from established stores. There's a whole lot more of that in yesterday's video. Definitely check that out. I'll put a link to it at the end of the video because there's an increasing number of scammers out there because there's a huge vacuum with these two games, and a lot of people are trying to take advantage of all of that panic. And this is so many people have already gotten scammed. So really trying to look out for you guys here. Do not rush into any big purchases of somebody else's collection. Google image search the thing, all kinds of stuff. All right. So what's going to happen between now and Worlds? We're going to continue to play the game the way we've always played it. Now, if you're feeling a little stale, there's lots of different things that you can do. I've talked off and on about larger formats, the 600-point games. Sector Fleet is an official rule set that came out under Fantasy Flight Games that allows for larger point games. You can do team games, you can do one-on-one games at larger games. It gives you guidance on those. You're not just going to have a massive increase in squadrons. It changes it to only 25% of your ship, of your fleet total if you're playing Sector Fleet. So 600 points is a really cool format to change things up a little bit. And who knows, maybe it'll become a more widely accepted format in the future. It's definitely a possibility, but it's already a legal format now that just a lot of people either don't know about or don't play often enough. I definitely encourage you to incorporate that into your local groups, sort of, regular play and meetups as something to kind of spice up the game between now and then. It does seem also that it's a remote but still possible possibility that AMG could, before the end of their official support at the next year, that they could also release some other type of content for Star Wars Armada. So again, it's another reason why like a homebrew solution would be irresponsible to put into play right now, because for one, it wouldn't be legal at tournaments, and for two, there's still a chance that a rapid reinforcements or a points balance could potentially still come out from AMG. There has been people asking for this both for X-Wing and for Armada. It would be a good way for them to send these games off on a good note. FFG used to do this when they would shut games down. They would say, like, all right, this is going to be the last wave, and that'll be it. And here's a send-off. Star Wars Destiny got a final wave and also a PDF, like a print and play for like the wave that was in development beyond that. So it is definitely always possible that they could kind of send the game off with, okay, here's that final, like all the last little tweaks that were play tested and stuff. Here's that final bunch of stuff that could potentially also still come out. So we'll, of course, and if it does, that's great. If it doesn't, it's okay. The game's still in a very, very good spot. Most competitive players will tell you the game is in one of its most balanced states that it's ever been in, which is very cool. Not to say that it's perfect, and there still are some tweaks that I think a lot of us would love to see done, but the game's in a really good place right now, and we have plenty of time to enjoy that place and fly all kinds of fleets. All those fleets you've kind of planned to fly but haven't flown yet, you've got plenty of time to do that. So what's going to happen after Worlds 2025? That's a very good question. I think that's where most of the questions come into play. Now, there are multiple kind of competing standards for, what will be the future of Star Wars Armada, what will be the official future of Star Wars Armada. There's lots of different homebrew initiatives out there, and homebrew is great. Continue to, have fun with your homebrew. But I think when we look at organized play, we look at tournaments, we look at store championships, regionals, GTO level tournaments, large tournaments, and of course, Worlds at Adepticon. I know I've been talking with folks and a lot of different community leaders, a lot of different people involved in tournaments. I've been talking with Ion Radio as well. You have you may have already seen like a press release from Ion Radio that's talking about the same topic. I'm not going to recite everything that's in there because I will share their release, because I want you to go check that out as well. But there is an ARC community that is working together, an Armada rule set collective that will be looking past 2026 for potential points, updates, rules, changes, clarifications, things like that, because there's a need, there's an emptiness there. The AMG rules forum is likely not going to be updated forever. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to answering questions of, oh, right, so for Worlds 2026, what will we do if people want to run an Imperial Star Destroyer, an ISD-2, when they haven't been in print for years? How can we keep the game going? Well, one of the goals is to keep the game going, and one of the goals is to be able to answer those questions while having a small but balanced approach to potential changes and updates and clarifications, and it's a collective that's doing this. It's not any one person, not a small group. A large group is basically putting this together. And in short, while of course nothing is finalized yet, I think after Worlds 2025, again, Worlds 2025 is AMG, and so it's still the same official rules. So sorry, folks, no 3D printed stuff, at Worlds 2025. But beyond that, there's a possibility for not just for Worlds, but for all tournaments that happen for TOs across the globe to sort of unite on what established rules are going to be moving forward. And that's one of the things that this group is aiming to do. Now, of course, this group has my support. For what I've been talking with, everybody I've talked to wants very little change, and change not just because, oh, this would be a really cool ship to add, or this would be a really fun thing to do, but rather changes what does the game really need in order to stay healthy. Again, going back to my earlier point, the game is already in one of its best states ever, so most people tend to agree it doesn't need a whole lot. But of course, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. So there is definitely room to do stuff, and of course that will be discussed, and nothing will be rushed there. But I can pretty much guess that 3D printed stuff will eventually be allowed for, of course, non-AMG tournaments. And what you can probably expect is that it's likely going to be up to TO discretion. As long as something looks like what it's supposed to look like, it'll probably be all right. Of course, if measurements are right, if you're using some kind of base, it has to be the right size base. You can't be like, oh, I made my large base for my ISD2 really, really small, so you can't hit it, or whatever. So that is definitely something that I would expect to see happening. I think that those are reasonable concessions to be made, and there is also the possibility of some minor rules adjustments. Now, this isn't anything completely official, but I have a wish list of things that I'd like to see down the road. Of course, I am not in charge of this. I'm advocating for it because it's a united effort to keep the player base united and keep people playing Armada and playing the rule set that we have, and really looking at a very, very balanced approach to keeping the game going. And this also includes World Tournament support beyond 2026. So again, and if we want to have the big venues still support and host Star Wars Armada, we can't go completely crazy. And there's definitely a lot of reasons beyond just rules balance to have a fair and balanced approach. So the game will definitely be supported beyond that, which is very, very cool. It's going to be supported by a lot of us as the community past 2025, but I don't want to rush into the 2026 sort of season and the discussion just yet. I want you all to know that there are a large number of TOs, community organizers, community leaders, podcasters, content creators, nunchuck wielding crab dudes like me that are all have the best interests of the game in mind. And so that's a very good thing moving forward, and we're going to continue to be able to play this game, and there's going to be continued coverage of Star Wars Armada. I'm going to keep playing. I know my local folks here in Orlando are going to keep playing. We're going to keep having a great time with it. There's a lot of fleets I still haven't built yet, and who knows, maybe the game will continue to get even more players. Maybe it'll get picked up by somebody else, and they'll see what we've done. There are different models that we can kind of look to of games that have been community sustained and have eventually come back into print. And when a company sees how well the community kept this game, a lot of times they will say, hey, you guys did make this change. You know what, that makes sense. We'll do that too, because a community, if we make too many changes, another company might just brush it aside and start from scratch. But if you keep it balanced and you keep it healthy and strong, that's a very good thing. And it also tells those publishers, those companies out there that there's definitely demand for this. Let's get it going again. That's definitely one of the things that I would like to see. I'd love to see it picked up again someday. That'd be very, very cool. Also have a wish list for homebrew communities out there that are looking to make their own content, because again, I said it is really fun to make your own content. Here's something that I want to see, and I'm sure it's been done already, but I'd love to see this linked for homebrew communities. I would love to see, this is my personal wish list, I'd love to see the Chiss expansionary defense fleet in Star Wars Armada. Now, this isn't something that this wouldn't be something official, wouldn't be something for official tournaments or anything that the ARC community would put together or anything like that. But I think it'd be a really cool project for homebrew communities to be able to make something that is a whole separate fleet. This way, it wouldn't kind of confuse, you know, existing players, or if you see it. I just feel like it would definitely be to the side that could be really fun. It's like, hey, would you mind if I played my Chiss fleet against your Imperial fleet today? I'm like, oh, you know, no, I actually want to play a regular game. Oh, okay, no problem. Or yeah, actually that sounds like fun. Let's set that up. Or maybe I can't do it this week because I want to practice for this tournament, but let's shoot for next week. You know, but I think that'd be a kind of a good side effort for a homebrew community. And I always wanted to see, like, you know, after reading the most recent Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy, that really was a love letter to space combat, capital ship, fleet tactics, and the Chiss. That's one of my, you know, things that I wish they would have ever gotten to that they never did. But that's just a personal little side project that I'd love to see. I'm sure some people have put stuff like that together, but I don't know if a whole fleet has been done. Art for that would be very difficult, I would imagine. All right, guys, that is going to basically summarize the whole video. 2025 is still going to be Armada as you know it, without any changes. But the community is going to keep Armada going beyond 2025. And it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. We'll bring you more updates as they are available. Let me know some of your questions down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you have a fantastic weekend, and keep on playing Armada, keep on playing X-Wing, keep on playing Legion, keep on playing all the games that you love, and have fun and be excellent to each other. All right, big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. You guys help make this channel possible and keep this channel going. Thank you so much for your continued support. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. The spice must flow. So say we all. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. And always wash your socks.